Thank you, partners, for supporting the V Club, the official fundraising arm of Mississippi Valley State University's athletic department. Visit Jackson, GNC, Capital City Automotive, the National Alumni Association, Miss Kelly Furniture, Capital City Beverages, and Vogue Home Furnishings. Thank you, partners. We couldn't make it without you. Now on to the show and PA.
Today we have a very special guest with us, Ms. Debra McGee, who is a VP at BankPlus. She has many years of experience in the banking industry and also on multiple boards, and has a lot of experience with philanthropic efforts. And so today she's been able to squeeze out a little time for us. So I want to thank her and welcome her to the V Show. Debra McGee, are you there?
Yes, thank you.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing today, Patrick?
I'm doing well, and as always, thank you again for your time. I know I lean on you and get on your nerves a little bit because I'm trying to give advice as we grow our organization. However, I don't know everything, and this is one of the best ways that I can learn is from individuals like yourself. So, with that being said, can you tell us a little bit about your work history and experiences?
Yes. Thank you again for the invitation. I've been in banking since I graduated from William Carey University. I'm currently employed with BankPlus as Senior Vice President and Director of Minority Business Development. I have been in banking for over 35 years. I am responsible for business development and implementing programs, products, and initiatives geared toward minority businesses.
With your many years of experience in that realm, and you touched on some stuff as far as understanding value and knowing your value, and you also said something about unconventional. Have you noticed any trends or things that may were eye-catching to you about unique ways that people are raising monies for their nonprofits or foundations?
Definitely, Patrick. Some businesses are turning to pay-per-view is an excellent way to generate revenues, especially since COVID. Everyone wants to attend football games or events. Pay-per-view is the opportunity where you can enjoy the event at home, and also you can make money from it.
That is a unique way of looking at things, especially with most of the stuff going on YouTube Live and Facebook. The pay-per-view from the event side is definitely duly noted. And I appreciate you again, Debra, for your time, and I don't want to hold you too long. But before you go, is there anything that you can kind of bestow upon our supporters as far as encouraging them to give and support what we're trying to do at MVSU?
Yes, the goal is, if it's branding, if it's media, social, or supporting the university by giving, consider setting up a monthly ACH debit to give back to your university. If you're attending Valley or never gave back to the university, you should start today. It's very important that you give. It's important in life to be a giver and not a receiver. It's also important to teach our children at an early age. Therefore, when they start earning an income, they'll be able to give back to the community. So the first thing you should do is be a supporter of the university yourself, and then ask your family, friends, as well as companies that you do business with to consider supporting the university or matching the donation. Some employers go in and they actually match a percentage of whatever the employee pays toward any kind of nonprofit organization or their school. So you need to tap into things like that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again for your time and joining us. And we will take those nuggets and press forward. And I look forward to seeing you soon. And of course, when we have an event, you and the family definitely will be invited.
Thank you so much. And I enjoyed it. And just remember, it's always better to give than to receive.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. we want to thank Debra again for her time. She's a very busy person, extremely active in the community, and always supportive of especially minority interests. But she handles some big accounts as well. So everything that she's been so far for us has been fantastic. So thank Debra again. Next, we're going to go into more of an educational focus, almost like we were in school or in class. Fully funding athletics. You'll hear me say that all the time. You'll hear V Club members and board members and supporters say that. But a lot of people don't understand what that actually means, okay? So fully funding athletics in a short version means that the university can provide the maximum amount of scholarships allotted by the NCAA per their division, okay? So if you're at the bowl championship series level or what they D1, you get 85 scholarships in football per se over a 4-year period. At our level, which is FCS, you get 63 allotted over 4 years. And so that's part of the terminology that has to be broke down so people can understand. And when we go through these next few slides, hopefully it'll give you a better understanding of why it's important for us to fully fund athletics, to not just necessarily make our teams competitive and give the coaches the depth that's necessary to compete, but also the morale, the atmosphere, the experience at our university can be enhanced by doing so. First of all, we want to let you know that not all sports at a school can be fully funded, because some are what they call head count sports, and then other ones are what they call scholarship number sports. A head count sport means that you're able to put X amount of number of people based on size or the actual particular sport on a scholarship or a particular monetary number. And when a school is not fully funded, that means they do not have the full allotment. So I'm going to go into this next slide that where it's going to give you a real breakdown. Last year, from a standpoint, and we're using somewhat whole numbers in order not to get into the true dollars and cents. But if you notice at the very top of it, football, the reason that football runs the show is because of the opportunity to have certain games where you can go play a bigger opponent. For example, this year of 2021, USM, Southern Miss, here in our state, went to go play Alabama, and for them taking that trip over there, their university and athletic department received approximately $1.8 million. Okay, $1.8 million could go a long way for us, but until we get fully funded at the 90 percentile, meaning that we're closer to fully funded, when teams like that play us, it doesn't count toward a bowl game for them, because their whole thing is they want to win 6 games and get to a bowl game. So if they beat Valley, they won't schedule us, because if they beat us, it does not count toward their bowl activity. So that's the reason that you don't see we haven't had the ability to go play a Mississippi State or Ole Miss or Alabama or Memphis or Louisiana Tech, because they want that game to count toward a bowl victory for them, because that puts money in their coffers. So the current allotment right now today, or what it could be, is for football you would want an 85 count, right? But that 63 full scholarships, 85 count over the 4-year term. And what we currently have on our breakdown with the 500,000 that we have allocated is 32.2. Okay, that's a long way from 63. So what Coach Dancy and his staff is able to accomplish on a week in and a week out basis is actually amazing. And he's come on and explained that to us, that it really hits from a depth perspective, meaning the person that has to sub in when injuries happen or COVID protocol or somebody cramps up is possibly a walk-on. So that talent gap may be very vast, and people can attack that. From a baseball standpoint, you can put 27 out there, and if you look over there to the right, that's only about 4.5 scholarships that coach is trying to break up in between. Our men's basketball program and our women's basketball program are pretty much, they get fully funded. So these numbers aren't 100% true and accurate, because they are what fund our athletic department, especially men's basketball. That's why you see the whole first part of the season they're on the road traveling. Okay, and so on this particular slide, you'll see the notes as far as 11.7 can be dispersed over 27 players, even though the roster limit is 35 in baseball, because it's more of a head count thing. But, take it, screenshot it, share it. And as I stated before, these numbers aren't exact, but it should be used to give a vivid picture. All right. And so rolling to the next slide, going into the scholarship, the actual value. Okay. So people always ask, well, what can I do to help, or why is scholarship money important? Well, as you can see, in order to fully fund a scholarship, that's where a kid can receive their Pell Grant back included. You're looking at about $15,500, okay? And then another $2,000 for books, because we have a book room, and that's a different dynamic that you really don't have to go too far into. But if you look just on that top line of this slide, football needs about $1.1 million just to be fully funded. Now, if we were fully funded, like a Jackson State or some of our competitors, we can go play the money games to help fund the rest of the university athletic activities and other things as well. On other campuses, your athletic department is building science buildings for the university. But it's more to that than just the scholarships. It also goes into the experiences. So on this particular slide, if you go down all the way from top to bottom, grand scholarship total, in order for us to fully fund scholarships, right now we're at about 1.3, as you've seen in the previous slide. We would need close to $3.2 million. That's for Title IX. That's to ensure that we're in compliance there, that all of our women's sports have their full allotment and what they need. So people, we got a long way to go from 1.3 to 3.2. We gotta do some things differently. We gotta hump. We gotta change our mindset and understand what we got to do, and just not point fingers and saying why we don't have this or why we're not competitive. We got to speak up. We can control this. Parnell said something last week that was truly empowering, and that was the leadership, the scholarships, and the relationships. Let's build relationships to increase the scholarships, and we can get that done together. Next, I want to go into a section a little bit about understanding what funding is. I know I mentioned it a little bit about it, but in our state, you'll see on this slide, Lane Kiffin will make $4.5 million, and he has escalator clauses. He'll end up with about 5.5 over the 4-year life of his deal. Mike Leach signed the richest contract in Mississippi State Bulldog history, and these are all relatively new. This is January of 2020. The female basketball coach McCray Pearson at Pinson, at Mississippi State, her deal is worth $750. Y'all don't understand. Our whole football staff doesn't make $750. So we're asking people to go out and perform and do more with less, and it's truly an unfair advantage to them. And the reason that I say funding is relative is because we're paying 2 coaches in this state an annual salary of $5 million, yet $5 million has the ability to transform our campus and take us in a totally new direction. Our total campus, our total Rice-Titan Stadium renovation is only about $2.4 million, and that includes a jumbotron, a resurfaced track, field turf, new sound system, and lighting. Funding is relative. And some of the things, if they can do that on an annual basis, we can find a way to make it work and make it happen for us. All right, so we'll move on to the next slide. What is the additional support fund when you do that? Well, it increases the experience, and it enhances the experience of our student athletes and our coaches as well. Think about this. Alcorn had the issue of training staff, right? And the athletic director stepped down because of it. Well, you're stressing people out because the funding just isn't there. But it would be nice to have multiple trainers on staff, on payroll, that where our basketball teams can have one trainer, our football team can have one designated for them. Baseball and softball can share. That's how it is at other universities. So it's the attention to detail is there, where you're not burning one person out. Recruiting expenses. A lot of coaches will tell you they've been recruiting on their own dime. Okay. Nevertheless, they get it done. They don't complain. We have an awesome staff and an awesome team. And we're doing the best we can with what we have, but this is more so for insight, not criticism. Please understand, this is for insight. So for those that are pointing fingers, you have the ammunition to help us do something about it. Okay? Academic support. Instead of just paying one person or two people on the academic support trying to help 300 athletes, you can have 5 or 6 on staff to get that done. There's other universities that have true strength and conditioning coaches just for sports specific training. You know, we have 1.5 of one that's trying to take care of all 300 athletes and do plans, strength and conditioning plans for 300 athletes and students, or close to, not quite 300, but it's over 260, 280. That's a lot on one person. Other places I've been and seen, they have mental health coaches where sports psychiatrists on staff to deal with mental health issues, you know, whether it be from childhood or just playing a specific sport itself. Nutritionists on staff to help kids with their eating plans and meal plans and what should you be eating on and what lean protein is about. All of these enhance the athletic experience at our university, which would give us opportunity to recruit better athletes. It's just that simple. I know massage therapists on there, chiropractic services. I've been places where all of those are on staff. It's just a phone call. And not to mention the coaches' salaries. We mentioned the salaries above. They're paid for through the foundation. We have to get it in gear, people. This is my plea to you. Travel is another one. You know, instead of being on a bus going certain places, you're able to fly certain places when you have the correct amount of funding in resources in your budget. And so, not to harp too long on that, the numbers don't lie. The next slide where it says reason to support, it's going to it depicts it. It tells you where we are going all the way back to 2013, and this was a revenue deal that was put out by USA Today. Flip to the next slide, it gives you the most current stuff that's actually been reported, and that was as of June. You know, you got COVID mixed in there as well. But if you look at a university like Prairie View, and their revenue being at 19 million, which tops in the SWAC, that's number one in the SWAC by far. And then you look at us at 4 million, but we're expected to compete. People, we have to do something. Season ticket supports is great. And I'm not saying it all has to come from one person. We are a young university. I understand we're only 70 years, you know, young. But that doesn't mean we have to close our mouth. We have to talk. We have to let people know and understand the deficit we're dealing with. Part of our issue is that we want everything to be hush-hush and a secret. You know, even Alcorn, 6 million. That's why they struggle with the training, you know? And you notice that where we ranked was 225. And Coppin State doesn't have a football program. And Savannah State is going back to D2. So that lets you know where we are. It's the time to act is now. This is an information. This is a plea. This is not criticism. This is a plea for action. Assist us in our goal of fully funding athletics. Now we'll do our part because we have ways that we can generate. And if you look at it, we're going to hit corporate sponsors hard. And sometimes some of the things get lost. You often hear me say terms of, instead of sponsorships, I choose the term partnerships because we have something to give. We do. Sponsorships, we're not asking something for nothing. We have something to give. We have value. And you'll also hear me use the term contribution and not donation. When you're contributing to our cause. Donating, to me, that doesn't speak purpose. And that's just my personal opinion. That's PA speaking, okay? So some of the things that we have to be better at, and I hold all the onus on me, although I'm one person, and it's going to take an army, a village, our whole MVSU family, supporters, friends, cousins, neighbors, anybody that we can get to look at green. It's going to take us to change this tide. What we can give our partners is internships for students. We can do prominent signage. We're able to name venues and lease spaces, promotional spots during games, welcome tents, which also you saw if you came to homecoming this past week where AT&T and some other entities were out in the front of campus, and Capital City Beverages, and thank you for what they do. But we got website traffic, putting a logo and link in there as well. We have value that we're able to get to. The thing is, we need more of a voice out there from each of you. If you need to speak with me and for some direction, I'm here. But it's going to take more than one. It's going to take more than one organization. The MVSU NAA Foundation, we have to push together. Fence wrapping, being on the comp tickets. There's a multitude of ways that we can be creative in a way of doing that. And you'll see some of the images that we've put here. Digital scoreboards is something that I harp on because I understand the value that they bring as far as the experience. When you have a dance cam or when you have the Greeks and the sororities and you can highlight them on campus and, as they strolling and strutting and doing their thing on the big board, with a DJ and the sound system is up to par. People will pay for that because we can help with employee retention. We can bring entertainment because I promise you, what I consider the 1 second game last week against North Carolina Central, that's forever memorable. Our 2 touchdowns were all on 1 second left on the clock. That's entertainment. And so whether that's dealing with a dealership partner, when a person buys a new car, they get a season ticket or a ticket to a game, or employee of the month at a place like Viking or Dollar General where, they're able to bring their family of 4 to a game, we can help with those. We have value. And the ads and spots and all of that comes with it, with digital boards, fence wrapping, premium seating guest experience. Y'all see us doing things in the end zone now. Just trying to create a different feel. And by the way, that end zone seat was nice. And I think it would be that much better if we had that digital scoreboard on the other end, so to look like you're watching TV, sitting down, having a beverage and eating a meal in the end zone. And that'll only get better. So thank you guys for supporting that effort as well. And so as we close up, because I don't want to bore people to death, you can be the catalyst for change. Everything starts with the one initial action, whether that's calling me, whether it's calling a meeting with your friends, whether it's setting up a Zoom, whether it's telling your employer, for some of the entities that have matching donations. This is our plea. This is the education that's needed. So you can see with raw numbers, we're not hiding anything. Now, everything isn't exact to a dollar per se, but you get the gist of it, okay? You get the gist of it. So this is my plea to you. This is the V Club's plea to anyone that's willing to listen. Help us help our university. For more information, view us at mvsuvclub.com, or you can give us a call at 662-299-3766. As we close, I want to thank our partners again, partners, not sponsors, with Capital City Beverages, Visit Jackson, the GNC Mangino stores, Capital City Automotive, and our partnership with the MVSU NAA. We will continue to grow together, and we will be the catalyst for change. Until next week, we'll see you. Y'all be blessed.